Hello, listeners. This is your SSK, and today we have an interesting story from Chandamama. And the name of the story is The Story of Chandini Chowk. While the building of the new city around the Red Fort, all the members of royal family came forward with their personal contributions. You already know about the garden laid out by the Princess Jan Ara. She also laid out the Urdu bazaar near the newly built Jima Masjid, which was really remembered to this day is the large chowk or square planned by her, with a large pool in the center. It was called Chandini Chowk. The pool is no longer in existence. Today, visitor might wonder about the name. What had moonlight to do with the crowded and congested shopping center, the largest in the capital? Needless to say, the newly put up Shahjahan Bagh was not crowded like the present city of Delhi. Besides, after the square was built, Jahan Ara had a large pool constructed in the center. It was watered by the canal built by the royal architect Ali Mardan. This canal flowed through the entire length of main road. Nearly all the historians of this period tell us how the Chandni Chowk got his name. Here is what Kushwat Singh writes in his Delhi, a portrait. A canal flanked by trees on either side ran the center of this bazaar, widening into a tank in the middle. On moonlight nights, the canal and the pool were represented with the reflected glory of the moon. So the bazaar came to know as Chandni Chowk, the moonlight square. The canal was a real boon of the people of Shahjahanabad because it supplied their drinking water. No wonder the nobility and the wealthy had their mansions built around the square. Shops sprang up all around. Chandni Chowk soon became the most fashionable locality in the Mughal Empire. It was also a prosperous trade center, attracting traders from many countries. Fruit shops sold the choice of fruits from Afghanistan and Kashmir. Jewelers offered all kinds of gems and ornaments. These were shops selling from hookahs to all kinds of weapons. Nawab, in his memorial, mentioned an interesting story about shopping in Chandni Chowk. A young noble who had just lost his father wanted to go shopping in Chandni Chowk and sought his mother's permission. The woman burst into tears and said, "Oh, my son, your father has not left you enough money for you to go shopping in Chandni Chowk, but since you want it so badly, please take a lakh of rupees, which is all I can spare. I will enable you to buy a few token gifts after you have gone round the shops." Just imagine, some people actually spent 1 lakh rupees for buying just token gifts even in those days. Much later, in 1837, an English woman, Emma Roberts, writes in her diary that Chandni Chowk often echoed with the shrill roar of many caged cheetahs and also hunting leopards. Chandni Chowk has the distinction of having an amazing number of palaces of worship belonging to all major religions: Islam, Hinduism, Christianity, Sikhism, and Jainism. There is an interesting story about one of them. A Jain temple then known as Urdu Mandir became it was in the Urdu Bazaar. It was established during the reign of Shah Jahan. Soon after Chandni Chowk came up, when Aurangzeb was in power, he banned all forms of music in the city. He ordered that temple drum should not be beaten anymore, but he was livid with rage to find that no one paid any heed to his command. The drum player in the temple continued to beat his drum loud and stronger. Aurangzeb commanded his soldiers to capture the drum player and haul him before the emperor. But strangely enough, no one succeeded in catching him. The drums went on playing as before. No matter how many soldiers captured, there always seemed to be a drum player in the temple. Finally, angry and exasperated, Aurangzeb himself entered the temple, determined to catch the player. But when he went in, he discovered to his utter astonishment that there was no drum player. In fact, there was no one at all in temple, and yet the drums were playing. Aurangzeb returned to his apartments in the Red Fort and never mentioned the subject again. The drummer continued playing his instrument merely. The temple is now popularly known as Jain Mandir. Even now, Chandini Chowk is an important shopping area. The original arcade built in the shape of a half moon is now a bazaar of mixed splendor and squalor crammed with shops of all kinds. The narrow alleys and balconies specialized in different things. An admirable study in contrast, visiting the Chandni Chowk despite its crowd and din is an experience not to be missed if ever you visit the country's capital.